Shift Up considering more expansion to other platforms for Stellar Blade as per studio latest earnings. I wonder why. Could it be that after it was all said and done, the fugazi of the so-called exclusivity is basically getting smoked? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, you can't just necessarily get out there and start talking about, exclusives do this, exclusives do that. That's all nonsense. You got to sell product. People have money, but they have limited amounts of money that they're willing to spend. Just because you think that they need to go ahead and buy a new box doesn't mean that they're going to buy a new box. They're not interested in buying a new box. There's no incentive for them to buy a new box, and then the box will collect dust, and hence, they'll hold on to their money and buy what's available on their box. Now that you know that they're going to buy what's available on their box, you need to go to be on their box if you want their money. Let me go ahead and point out this equation for many of you, because many of you, you make me laugh whenever you say some really weird stuff like this. I'm going to go ahead and point it out for you guys, okay? Are you ready? $60 in hand is worth more than $300 that you don't have. Did you hear what I said? Let's do the equation again. $60 in hand is worth more than $500 that you don't have. Now, this is just basically a news article. It may not happen, but Shift Up understands that there's actually a reason that it needs to happen. That's why when they first said, we hope that our Steam sales, they said hope, outperform our PS5 sales. Because $60 in hand is worth greater than $300 that you don't have, which would be $0. Because you don't have that $300. You don't have it. You don't have it. And even when you go ahead and sell a brand new console box, as I would put here, let's go ahead and do a console box. Let's get a different color that will stand out in black. Even though you go ahead and buy a new console box, you will sell that console box at a loss, which now puts you in $60 is not just greater, but super, super greater than a console sold. Because that console, you have to wait for that person to basically buy the console at a loss, then buy a subscription, then buy a game, and blah, 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 blah. From a long-term growth strategy, it works. But the way the market is with its saturation, it's starting to get tired. Why? Because you're going to see your revenue decline. You're going to see your growth slow down. Because the market's not waiting for you. There used to be a time you had access to the means, right? There used to be a time these companies basically were controlling and running the show. But now, everyone's going to Unreal Engine because it's an engine that is supported by Epic Games. They're willing to give that 4% revenue. And boy, I tell you what, games are flying out the shelves like you have no idea. Handheld gaming is now PC-based, so people have a console and access to this market at the same time. Sales, all of the above. It's all hitting from left and right, and Stellar Blade will be picked up for $10.99 on a great day, and $5.99 if we're actually ready to buy this game from them, because they did not get the money when it was right there. Launch. There are people that will buy your game at launch. This is a very small category of people, and you must ensure that you leverage their willingness to give you that money. The moment you lag, you are asking for a beating. A beating. And you will be bludgeoned by the other games that are going to come out there and want to take their money. Look at Expedition 33. Look at Expedition 33. Netting $5 million in sales because it's got multi-platform presence, even with Game Pass. Ghost of Yotei, $3.3 million, even following an established exclusive. That comparison, sure, they're in different genres. That comparison should tell you everything you need to know. Who bought a PlayStation to go play Ghost of Yotei that you know about? Tell me. Are the people playing Ghost of Yotei not the people who played Tsushima? So what's the point of the exclusivity? How much impact has it had? How much impact would he have? And this is the equation that nobody wants to go ahead and answer. They love perception and they love status. Status is not going to give you money. That's what a company and a business needs. Xbox is laughing and saying, this is how we did trillions. They weren't too worried about status. They were more concerned about how all that was going to pretty much go ahead and work for their fiduciary benefit. Fiscal benefit, fiduciary benefit, fiscal benefit. Fiduciary will be more like, well, yeah, fiscal and fiduciary benefits. Interesting stuff, huh? So when it's all said and done, I think the ruse is now basically being unveiled as we're able to see what's going on the back end. Now, PlayStation can choose to reduce its cost of development, make small games with big fat hype machines, and keep them exclusive to try to pull in console sales here and there. But the $300 million facade, that thing is out the window. It's just straight out the window. Because if they even were to do it to get the FOMO people the first 12 months, because they know that a lot of gamers can't control themselves. They know that most of y'all are like that. You know, they know you have the childlike side in you. And, you know, that's a whole different conversation. But they know, so they're trying to do that, right? But eventually, once the sales dry up, they basically move to PC, 11 months. In the case of Spider-Man, 13 months. We're looking at that timeline basically get weird and dwindle down. In fact, we're looking at day and dates for those live service games, right? But those live service games are their money maker, so they don't fool me. They may fool you. Oh, well, there's no single player game. You're the one that's basically eating that nonsense. You eat that crap all you want. But they're not fooling me as I see them in a position where they're farming dollars, even more from their live service games, and getting recurring revenue if they move the games to other platforms immediately. While those of you that claim to like first-party games, who aren't buying smoke, y'all ain't buying jack squat in comparison to the other titles. In fact, it's not that you don't want to buy jack squat, because you're just busy playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. And I don't blame you. I'm not going to say go buy games. No. Because I'm over here steady playing The Division and Mortal Kombat. It's just what it is. And the third-party games that y'all are basically over here yelling that they belong to you are funny. They're not your games. Your money-hatted games. And so you had that perception. Look at this over here. This McQuack says, let's just ignore PlayStation games like Phantom Blade Zero. It's not a PlayStation game. Fizzant, not a PlayStation game. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? I don't understand what these people are saying. Phantom Blade Zero is a third-party game. Fizzant is a Kojima game. Y'all want to claim Kojima games when it's convenient. You claim Death Stranding and then you dropped it when it became an Xbox title as well. So what is it? Anyways, I'm out of here. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.